You know that all of this month we are all, you, me, helping kids shine at the Niagara Children's Center. And the work that the Niagara Children's Center does for families and for kids, you can't put a price on it. Money raised this month and all year long go to benefit children and families here in Niagara. We need money for therapy services and to get people off of the waiting list and to make people not have to worry constantly about where their kids are going to get help. And let me introduce you to somebody that we met when we kicked the campaign off. She's 5 years old. They put her picture up on the screen, and everybody went, wow, that is just the cutest. Her name is Chelsea Newton, and from a very early age, Chelsea didn't hit some of the milestones that most people put out, and most people put as things that their kids should do at a certain time. And nobody knows that better than parents. It doesn't matter who you are. The parents know what the milestones are. Erin Newton is Chelsea's mom and joins me this morning. Hello, Erin.
Hi, how are you?
Good. So she wasn't hitting the milestones. And what was going through your mind?
I knew right away something wasn't right. My oldest daughter had hit all the milestones early, and I thought something's not right. It wasn't just one or two milestones, it was everything. So I knew that something wasn't right, and we had to talk to the doctor about it.
And what did they say?
He wasn't sure, so he said, you know what, I'm not really sure what's going on. She could outgrow it, but we'll send you to the Children's Center and have them take a look and just see and go from there. And he was trying to reassure us that everything was going to be okay.
Now, before the doctor says to you, we'll send you to the Children's Center, did you know much about the Niagara Children's Center?
I knew a little bit about it just from my schooling. I did a placement there, but I didn't realize how involved it was and all the services they did have. I didn't even realize there was a school there as well. So
you and Chelsea go through the door, and what happens?
So that was... The first meeting was a lot of therapists. You know, they all have their eyes on her. They're all evaluating her and looking at what she's doing and not doing. But they were amazing. Like there was no fear. There was no, we weren't scared. It was just, okay, we're here to help you. And they immediately looked at her and said, yep, so this is what we're going to do, and we're going to see her this many times, and we're going to put this in place. And they knew exactly what to do. They kind of took over and put your mind at ease that they're going to do something. And they saw right away the same need that we saw, the same, that she wasn't hitting those milestones and she should be doing this and she's not.
And this was even before an official diagnosis of any sort.
Oh, yes. Yeah, the official diagnosis didn't come for quite a while. And that was tough because we were going through the therapy quite a bit, quite intensely, and we kept saying to the therapist, what do you think? What do you think? And they were, we're not really sure, but there is something there, and they'll find a diagnosis. We just don't know what it is yet. And they said, one therapist said to me something that kind of kept with me, that it doesn't really matter what the diagnosis is because it doesn't change the therapy. We're still going to do the same things we're doing. She still has the same symptoms. It just puts a title on it. So, and then when we told them, it was, it didn't change anything. It was just, okay, that's what it is. Now it has a name, but the therapy continues the way it is. What was
the name when you found out what Chelsea had?
She has Pitt-Hopkins syndrome, which nobody's heard of. The pediatrician hadn't even heard of it. So it's a very rare genetic disorder. That she has a mutated piece on her 18th chromosome that she kind of just developed all on her own, so it's not genetically passed down or anything like that. There's only a few thousand cases worldwide, only 10 in Ontario.
Now, I was reading that 9 times out of 10, children with Pitt-Hopkins syndrome don't walk or talk, but Chelsea is doing both, right?
Exactly, yeah. And I think if we had the diagnosis earlier, it might have changed our mindset. So I'm actually kind of glad we had the diagnosis later because you read that and you think, oh my goodness, my child's never going to walk, my child's never going to talk. But we didn't know that, so we just kept pushing, all of us, the therapists and family, and just kept pushing with what we needed to do. And okay, we don't know what it is, but let's just keep going with it and get her to where she needs to be. And the geneticist at McMaster told us that she would not be where she was today if it wasn't for that early intervention. So that was just amazing. And I told all the therapists, and, we had some tears and cried, and,
Had it not been for the Children's Center to go to, do you know where you would have had to go to get further help? Do you know what the next steps would have been?
No, not a clue. I don't know of any other place. There isn't any other place that does what they do. And to have everything all under one roof. I mean, your social workers are there, all your therapists are there. There's, I don't know what we would have done. And even the fact that it's paid for, a lot. We even have private benefits, but it doesn't even cover, or not even close to the therapy that these children need on a weekly basis.
So tell me now, what is Chelsea doing now? What's the prognosis?
We're not sure. The sky's the limit for her.
Mm-hmm.
I don't put any. I try not to look at what the Pitt-Hopkins syndrome tells us. She's surpassed everything that they said she wasn't going to do, and so we just celebrate all of her little milestones and what she does every day. She's surprising us with what she's doing. She's walking, she's talking. She's not at what she's supposed to be doing at a 5-year-old level, but she's far more she surprises us. We look at what her cognitive ability is, and wow, she's understanding that, and we didn't think she would understand that. So we just take it one day at a time, and we'll see what the future holds for her.
And she's at the Children's Center School now?
Yes, she is. Fantastic. Wow. She's second year now.
This is wonderful. It's a great story. I mean, obviously, it's disconcerting for everybody when you find out that there is something wrong, but finding that there is a place that can help you. What would you tell people who are listening right now about the Children's Center and their ability to help? I would tell them that we are so lucky in Niagara region to have this facility, and I don't think a lot of people realize that there's not many of these in Ontario, and you never know when you or a loved one is going to need these services, and it's a great place to put your money, put your donation to help these children. And like they've said, there's thousands of kids who need the help, and they're just on these very long wait lists. And the earlier you get help, the quicker they get off these lists, the better they do. And they said 0 to 5 is that crucial age of development, and if you can get the help then that's means a lot to these children. So if you can get them Yep.
the therapy that they need.
Erin, a pleasure to talk to you. Please give her a hug, and we are going to encourage people to make those donations to make sure these kinds of stories can continue. Thanks so much, Erin.
Yeah. You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Erin Newton is Chelsea's mom. Chelsea's 5 at the Children's Center School. You can donate online at helpkidsshine.ca. You can call them at 905-688-3550. Or I still think the best way is to drop by and actually see what goes on. And you can make that donation in person. You can donate whatever you can afford. A donation of $15 a month if you join the club is a huge gift. And it's all going to the children. And it's all going to the children right here in Niagara.